Hey guys, welcome back. It's Games. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to create a top-down shooter, an offline version, and a LAN version. By LAN, I mean local area network, where you can connect with your friends and play around. I will try to keep everything as clear as possible, although I won't be diving too much into coding. I will try to keep all the concepts as clear as possible throughout the tutorial. So me till the very end. So I will start with the offline version. Once I'm done with the offline version, we're just gonna duplicate the folder that contains the first version, and from there we can add all other components like a network script, a lobby, and all that's required to create a local area network game. And if you want to get everything in details, you just need to download the PDF and the project file if you can actually purchase it. So can start working on something. Let's come here, right click. We're gonna right click and create a new folder. Let's name the folder as resources and click on OK. All right, so just gonna close it on by mistake. Right click on that, create a new folder again. And this folder, it's going to be named as scenes and click on OK. Right click again, create a new folder, and this folder is going to be scripts. I won't be going into much details. I want just to save the scene in the scene and everything there. Let's go to project. In project settings, we're going to do a few setups here. Let's go first with Windows and the window size. We can go with something standard like 1080. And for the viewport heights, we're going to go with something like 720. We can scroll down here. Luckily, I'm operating in Godot 4.8, so most of the things I do not need to change from my old projects. But we gotta ensure that you're on landscape since our project is landscape oriented. I can move down here. I can go to globals, and inside the globals here, we're gonna create few setup for the globals. Let's close this first. We let go quickly here generate those needed scripts. So I'll do it very quickly. So yet, let's go to projects and project settings. And now inside project settings, I need to create my script from here. I couldn't make them in the background. I need to show you how they're made. So there is select script and there is create script and create scenes. We are going to focus on create script. So come and click on create script. Now what you're going to do here, um, what I want to do is rename the script and change the type of script that I want to use here. So if I go to this section and type the name of my script, uh, okay, make a little sense to me because I can't even open this. So, okay, just press Ctrl Z. We're gonna remove all this because the section attached is the type of node. So the node will be the script will be created on the basis of a normal node. Then when you click on the folder to choose the location where to save it, there you can rename your the script. So the first script is going to be settings and click on open. Now we can click on create. Now we got the first one. Let's create others. The second global script that we need, it's going to be named arena themes. Click on create. So I'll be creating and explaining a little bit what they do. So for settings, we'll be holding all the savings and the parameters like difficulty and all that. Arena themes, I'm not creating my arenas via nodes and placement, so I'll be making them directly by code, which makes them easy to edit later and duplicate. And when it comes to game manager, the game manager controls the gameplay of all my game. But as we can see, since I've been saving without giving it a location or a path, they're being directly saved into the root folder. We'll move them later. So when it comes to the mobile inputs decide if you are really on mobile and that the system you're using can handle mobile touch. Next one is the item database, which I just renamed in short item DB. So the item database will be holding all the parameters that I need, the gun and all the parameters, how many bullets, how many magazine we can have in the gun, and all that thing. Then when it comes to if effective X, it's the same thing. So we're gonna come here. I'm gonna select all the script and move them to the folder. So just use Control or Shift to select every element that you need and move them inside the scripts. Click on OK. Now they're moved inside script. Then I realized I forgot to move settings as well. So all of them now are moved inside the settings. Now I will need to add scripts to all of these things. As already told in the beginning, I won't be really showing you how to code all of this. We are there for at least 600 lines per script, which might take me 9 months just to explain to you every single line of code. But of course, I'll make sure that you get a PDF or a book explaining almost everything. So after attributing these things, we can just come and check the names if they are correctly written. So we got settings, arena, and all that. I can close here. And now let me code this in the back. Right, fresh from my back scene, I just added all the script that was needed. As you can see here in theme, we got military base type of themes, military base for the ground. We got abandoned city. Inside got the name, the description, the ambient, ground color, and all that thing. If you want to push it even further, I will show you also later, or maybe in the next video, how to implement also the sounds to match up with the type of arena you're making. So you got the abandoned city, the toxic clip. So you just need to play around with this code. You can play around with the color by clicking on those small squared colored in the script directly to change kind of the ambient. But I will advise you to actually be modifying those things by checking also what you're doing. Let's move to the next one, which is the effect FX. FX is basically handling directly all the effects. It's instead of creating every single effect from scene to scene, I just summarize them in one huge script. As you can see here in my folder, I have these effects sheets, which are mostly 6 by 5, 6 by 7. So I just basically summarize them in a sheet which goes into a constant. Then every time I need to animate them, the FX is going to handle them for me. As I was telling you, the script is way too long for me to be explaining to you how I've done all that. Moving to the next one, which is the game manager. The game manager manage everything, the essential of the gameplay. You can see it contains everything that needed. Uh, Now let's come here. We're gonna reduce that. As you can see, we got the type of game, the modes, we got the survival, and the training. And we go to the difficulty also, and we got those signals within the wave, the chaos, and the difficulty change or whatever. We got also down here the variables that all needed down here, and you can see that the code seems to be complicated, but once you know what you're doing and once you get the end of it, when you get the project file or the PDF, you realize that there is really nothing complicated. It's just a love line of code. Now, when it comes to item database, as I said, we got a dictionary of weapons, like we got fist, handgun, rifle, shotgun, and all that, and all the variables that needed to accompany that. We got also the throwables like grenades and all that thing. Now let's move to mobile input. As you can see, signal switch weapon requested and all that is to handle the mobile inputs easily, like the touch screen and all that. Right. So we also got that weapon wheel thing and all those variables. Now, what going to settings? In settings, we got the save path where we're saving all the parameters. And we got many things like skin, vibration, damage, and all that things that can be changed in the game. You can see here, we are here for at least 300 lines of code, which is way too much to be explaining in the video. Now, let's move to the next section. Let's go to project. In project settings, we're going to create something. We're going to add an input map. the input map basically, which are the input that we require to our game to move the character, to use some items. So we need to add what in the next section down below here, which is a add action. So first section we're gonna add is for the movement for the four coordinate like up, down, left and right, north, south, west, and east. And something that I might have said in the beginning of the video, we'll be using also a PS4 controller. I just bought a PS4 controller cheap on Amazon, which I could use for my tutorial. So for move left, after adding the action, now we need to attribute case. With my PS4 controller connected to my Bluetooth and to my laptop, I can easily do that. So for move left, we're gonna go also for the WASD. So for move left, we're gonna go with A, and beside the A, we're gonna add something else. We're gonna add the right left arrow, sorry, because we're moving left. So A for moving left, and again the left key on the keyboard to move left again. And for the PS4 controller, once it's connected, we just need to press the button that's required or move the analog in a certain direction. So since I'm going left, I'm going to move my joystick left. Now the joy axis is a 0, then it says left stick left, as you can read here, left stick left. If I push it right, it stays left stick right, which I do not want for my left movement, so I just keep it to left and click on OK. Now my joystick is connected. I would love maybe later to create a small tutorial to show you how a character can be moved, just as we can move him on the keyboard using the joystick of a PS4 or an Xbox. It doesn't really matter what you're using. And in this case, to move left, also add the D-pad left of my game controller, just pressing the left arrow on that game controller. The next action that we're going to add is move right, and we go again on the same principle where we are pressing what is required. So using the WASD control, D is the logical one to move right, and left, the right arrow on my keyboard. Beside that, we go with the left stick right with the PS4 controller or the Xbox, depending on what you're using. It might be different, but it works the same. And we press the D pad right, and that's pretty much it. It stays almost similar. All you need just is connect by Bluetooth no matter what games you're playing. I already experiment around with it, even if you upload your game on iChill web, but if your game supports the controller, it's still gonna play with the controller. I will upload these games on my HEO so that you guys can try it out. I will be also regularly or every 2 3 months try to improve my game. Then I'll update it with you by making maybe a short video or something like that. So I've added also another action, which is move up. So move up is done. Now we're gonna go move down. Wiring up all this action and buttons is pretty easy, but it's just time consuming. Since I'm explaining to you how it works, I could have done it real quick by speeding up the video, but I prefer to explain to you bit by bit. And click on what needed. So S for moving down and the down arrow to move down again. And for the joystick, we're gonna go left stick down and the D-pad. Now on the D-pad, we press the D-pad down and click on OK. Now we got all those movement, basic movement we need to move the character. Uh, you can take a screenshot if you want. Let me put this on full screen for you. Take a screenshot if you're trying to replicate this game via this video. You can take a screenshot of this, right? I think you're done. So let me come and minimize this to give myself a little space to show you what comes next. Right. So what action comes next is now more for for special moves like attack. Just right in the action attack, then now we can add. So for my keyboard, the attack key I'll be using will be space. And on my PS4 controller, for attack, I'll be using the cross or often called X. So just Sonic cross by action and is known as joypad button 0. Click on OK. Then now we got 2 input from the keyboard and the PS4 controller. Let's add another action, This one's gonna be to switch weapons, switch uh, weapons, or switch weapon, whatever you want to name it. Just make sure that the name that you are writing in the input in these project settings is gonna match up with what you have in your code, and otherwise you're gonna, you know, get spotted in there. So for switch weapon, I add the button tab, and I can also add Q. Uh, yeah, Q for changing weapons when you're playing on keyboard, and add another action. The other action on my PS4 controller to change will be pressing Sony triangle, the triangle on the PS4 controller. Next action will be the reloads, because my game will have a system of ammo, so I need to reload when your magazine is empty. So you need to change it. So for reload on the keyboard will be R to simplify things, and on my joypad it will be square. Sony Square is already there. Click on OK. Moving on to the next action here, we'll be working on pause. Now, for pause, just click enter after writing pause. So pause on my keyboard, I'll be using something like escape. Escape seems to be logical because if I use P, it might be confusing a little bit. Because if I use P, I will have to use R to resume or something. So after that, after pause, now on my keyboard, on my PS4 controller, I'll be using select. Select is wait, no, I'll be using menu on my PS4 controller. For my controller, somehow it's written option, so I just press on that button. So we got also an action called pickup, where we can pick up items. So we need a key for that. So for pickup here, I'll be using E to pick up items. And on my PS4 controllers, I'll be using R1. Yeah, R1 seems to be good and fast enough for me to click to pick up uh, ammo, items, and weapons at the same time. Next action is use the med kits. I'll be having a medical kit. You see, like it's a shooter game, so of course, like in a shooter game, you want something where you can patch up your wounds and kind of regain your health. So on the keyboard, I'll be using F, and on my PS4 controller, I'll be using, let's see, I can be using uh, L L3, yeah, L1, yeah, L1 seems to be also quick on the left hand. You just click there. One side you click to pick up, and the other side you click to, uh, you know, heal yourself. So we got all these action that recently added. We got attack, switch weapon, reload, pause, pick up, and use the medkit. And that not it yet. We need to add a few more actions. So the other action is throw grenades. I would have loved to add mechanism which is a little bit more complicated about the grenades, where when all the grenades one of the grenades type runs out, we use a different one, you know, we use a different one as the default grenades, because in my case only the deflagration grenade works with this. So on the keyboard is one, and on the joypad or the game controller I use R3 by pressing the R3. I guess everyone knows what R3 on the PS4 controller. Next one is detonate. Detonate C4. So in my game I'll be having types of throwables, even though the C4s and all those clay explosives are not really throwable. So just drop them, and when enemies come near you, you can just press T on the keyboard to detonate it. On my PS4 control, I'll use Alt 3. Yeah, Alt 3 would be very something. Sony L3. Click on OK. And we got throwable and detonate. Wonderful. Seems to be easy to implement as well. So beside that, we're gonna add something else. Drop weapon. We have a pickup weapon. We just need pickup, and we need something to drop weapons as well. If you want to drop a weapon or something like that. In this case, it's not really logical, but I bet some of you have, some fun ways to use it. On the keyboard, I press X, and on my joypad, I press circle. And these are the actions that actually, kind of make the game more alive when you have so many options to use. We got also open underscore weapon wheel. This one is for those who are playing on PC when you want to use when I use your PS4 control, you can switch quickly weapon using triangle, but I want to create that system, kind of mimicking GTA 5, where you open a weapon wheel, then you can use your left stick analog to navigate those weapons and choose. So on the keyboard, it will be C. I don't think it will be very useful, but on a PS4 controller, I'm going to use R2 to open the weapon wheel. Now to open the gadget wheel basically contains things like grenades, deflagration grenades, smoke grenades, clay, C4, mine, and all that thing. So we open it in the same way also, kind of wheel, the rotating wheel where you just use your analog to kind of open it. On the keyboard, it will be V, and on my PS4 controller, I'll be using L2, L2, as you can see there. Click on OK. We're gonna close this up. Let's reduce this. So we got throw grenade, detonate C4, drop weapons, up on weapon wheels, and open gadget wheel. Yeah, that's I still got now action, which is cycle scope. Sorry, my brain went with cyclope. I don't know why I was thinking of cyclops, so it's called cycle scope, which for this game will be B on the keyboard, and on my PS4 controller, I don't think I'm left with so many options now. The only button left here is select, which is basically written share here on my PS4 as I'm looking at it. I can close this. I'll send you a picture, or I will post a picture to show you what I'm seeing here on my current PS4 controller. Right. Now I need to create a bunch of things. We're gonna go to resource folder, click on right click, go to resource, click on resource. Now inside here, I'm gonna go on the search bar and type sprite. So what you're looking for is a sprite frame. Uh, do not remove the extension part which says trace because you're going to break it. So we're gonna rename that resource as fit. Right click again on resource. I want to show you properly. Click on sprite frame and we need to rename it before we save it. So the next thing is the flashlight and click on save. Now for flashlight, you can just come on flashlight, Control D to duplicate it. Now I can create gun, duplicate again. We're gonna create knife. I got a knife also. Click duplicate again. We're gonna create something like rifle. And beside that, we got also a shotgun. Click on OK. So back to 2D. Now, you might be asking yourself why I created resources instead of just creating directly using animated sprite 2D. I think this way it's easy to reuse, especially when it comes to the fact that I'll be using the same animations also for the enemies. Instead of duplicating just the enemy, you'll see later how it becomes and easier to animate. So in animation for feet, we're gonna have animation like idle, we get shaft right and strafe left when the player is kind of like jittering and moving on the side. So strafe right and strafe left are done. We got idle run and those two animations down there. Now the remaining one um, is a walk animation. This is for the feet, as it's written there. It's kind of like if you do not add this feet animation, it just seems that your player is just sliding without any animation, right? I just try to press Control S, as you can read here. They're saying the current root node is one, but cannot be saved, so I can save it like that. Now we're gonna come to my assets. Don't worry, I'll upload the asset for free or in the description there. You'll find it on my drive. Inside the animation called feeds, we're gonna come to idle. Then you find just two small looking images like feeds. They look like shoes actually. Click again here. We're gonna go add more and more here. So in this case, we're gonna select the first one and press shift up to the last one. Then now we add them. And the only small disadvantage when it comes to this is to experiment a lot around the speed animation and what need to be looked and not be looked. So you'll see that just kind of takes a lot of experimentation to kind of find the right move. So we're gonna move the next animation, which is straight left and straight right. We just come here, copy. Luckily, I already cut everything down for you, and make them easy for you to go inside the asset and just pick what necessary. Unlike my previous tutorial, I didn't add anything extra in my assets. I just kept everything that I needed, and all what wasn't needed, I threw them away. I mean, I deleted them. And the last animation, which will be walk. So just click there. I'm gonna go back here, come to walk, and pick what we actually need, and click on open. And come again here to the animation and click on 12 FPS, which seems to be all right. Now I can go back to idle and pretty much it. So, guys, the principle will be repeated for all those resources. I won't be really wasting my voice over these things. My tutorial seems to be a little bit long, so it might actually kill my voice. So just watch what's on the screen. You can take screenshots and get notes, but do not worry. I will create a PDF with screenshots and instruction needed for you to replicate this easy yet so interesting game. And finally, got all of them properly wired and all these things because I'm pressing Control Alt by reflex to save. It's just a reflex that I add like muscle memory. Let's close this up. Right, download the resources. Now we can move on to something a little bit more interesting. We're gonna come here, click on add a node. When the search panel open, we're gonna open and type canvas, and we're looking for a canvas layer. Once the canvas layer opens, we're gonna come here and rename it as main menu, and we're gonna click it to save it. But make sure that you're not saving it in resources, but in the scene folder. So click on save, and we can also change the name here. I want, you know, to make sure that the name is a little bit readable. So I put the two first um, letters in capital. As you can see now, it looks better. Click on save. We're gonna come here, add a child node. Right click, of course. I won't be explaining as if I'm explaining to beginners. Come to, and we're gonna add a texture rect. That texture rect will be, you know, our background. So we'll rename it background. Now this is where my AI generated pictures came in. I know a lot of you might judge me for using AI for these things, but I'm not a 2D or nor a 3D artist, so I'm not really good at drawing things. So I use what I have at end and at low cost. So I just use this AI to generate the background. We can pick between these two, and this seems to be pretty matching my game vibe. So I just picked the two of them with clear prompt and instructions. I just believe that a tool's not bad. Depends on how you use it. You know, I use it for a teaching purpose. To show you how to create wonderful games. So I don't think it's really bad to use AI when it comes to, teaching others how to create things that they love or something like that. So now the issue comes is when I need to align this to kind of fit my my game. Something I realized is at this time when I was recording this video, I didn't really pay attention, but you can just go to the top bar there and you can anchor it to fill the screen. But I did not think of it, which is really stupid because I think so many things crossing my mind at that time. So don't really blame me for that. We're gonna add an animated sprite to the ear, and I'm gonna rename it as preview. That's where I'm gonna show you how resources will be basically used. Instead of animating everything at once, we just come here, remove that. Once we get that, we're gonna come click on quick load. If I click on quick load, now we can see all those resources we just created appear here. I'm gonna pick the rightful one here. Now, this resource will be containing everything we actually require for our game. Let's click on save. We're gonna lock that up, add another child node, and I'm gonna add an audio stream player. There is audio stream player and audio stream player 2D and audio listener. But in this case, let's pick audio stream player. I do not even I do not even know what the difference between audio stream player and audio stream player 2D till now. I just use them as I want. Time I pick the audio stream player and time I pick the audio stream player 2D. So rename that audio stream as SFX click, and we can quickly add what we actually need here. We can come to our asset folder, asset, and inside asset, we're going to go to audio, and the first audio here we can see is click. It's an MP3 file. Godot support that as well. It supports WAV file, MP3, MP4, and even OGG. Now, if I come here and run my game, they're only gonna ask you, no maintain has been defined. Select one. You can change later in your settings. So just pick the current one, which is my main menu, which is logically what should be running right now. Now, as you can see, I get error from my item database, which is telling me you're trying to call this constant pickup scene, which you haven't created or does not exist actually in the game. Then I realized that if I keep on trying to pipe it like that, it's just going to create so many errors. If I try to comment that line, it's just going to, keep on adding more and more errors. Let's just close this up, and a small setup like this seems to be better, but most of the big things should be done by code. So that's why I don't really worry about this. So let's go to script. What I can do to item database is I can control A, right click, and I can toggle comments. So the whole item database becomes just the comments, becomes like an empty script at most. So it's almost empty. We can see that my games run better like this, but with this new version of Godot, they kind of inbuilt the running instance inside. So we can just play around with those parameters to move it out, to click on stretch and all that. Now, if I put it on full screen, you can see it's stretched to its maximum, which makes it look so good with the name Survivor Tactics in the middle there. Now, you can just come inside here, you can right click and click again on toggle comment, or remember Control K, which will be very useful to you when you are working like me. So I will just Control K and leave it like this for now. Let's clear this up. I'll come back to it later. Let's clear also there. Now let's minimize this output thing. What I'm gonna do here is attach a script to my main menu. Make sure that you pick the right folder to save it. I'm not gonna save it into scene, but into the script. Click on open and click on create. Now, as you can see, when we array it seems to be empty, but via scripts, this is how it should be looking. Now, you see the script itself contains so many lines of code that I could have made direct later on this and see how it comes out. Now, all these buttons and all this, UI and text have been created via scripts, which can be a useful method for people who love coding like me. Or you can try to make it the old Godot way by typing every line of code. Sorry, by not adjusting and playing around with whatever. Still, just coding seems to be little bit shorter than anything. We got lines of errors which mostly coming from item database since the script is empty. Right. After my main menu got done and well scripted, let's move to the next one. And this next one, click on other. We just be playing across the street. So this one is a character body 2D, which is going to be our player. So let's go A and rename it as player. I prefer to write the first letter as capital. Now let's save it. We already in scene, so make sure that the path stays in there. Change the first capital letter to P, a capital P, so it's player now. Now when it comes to the player, the structure won't be very complicated as it should. Let's first come to collision. Okay, so now the collision of my object will be on layer 2, not layer 1. And when the collision mask, I'll be colliding on mask 1 and mask 3. Right. I kind of organize this time, you know, to kind of make things that aren't supposed to collide, not to collide, and what's supposed to collide. So we can write it down on a paper or a notebook if you have something on your side, which can help you build a game easily like that by noting on what layer things should go, what objects are supposed to collide with each other and what's not. Now, I usually use Q and J on my keyboard. So if I press Q, I have select mode. And if I press J, I have the moving mode. Let's remove the rectangle. And instead, we're going to use a circle shape. And for that circle, I'm going to go a radius of 25. Yeah, 25 seems to be okay. I can move down here. I do not need to change much things here. Maybe the position, which would be -8 and -8. All right, you might think I'm just picking them randomly, but this game is being created based off what I already created in full. So this is just a copy paste of one things I've made after many failures and trials. So -8 to -8 correspond to our character movement as it is. Add another child node here. We're gonna add a node 2D and rename it as visuals. Sorry, it's visuals. So right click on visuals, add a child node, and we're gonna add a animated sprite 2D. Let's duplicate that animated sprite 2D. Let's rename the first one as fits with capital fits sprite. All right. And the bottom one, we're gonna rename it as well. Let's rename it as body sprite, which makes things a little bit easy for all of us. So if I move a little bit down here, I can come and get rid of this for fit, and I can come here and pick fit inside here, but you can see the feet are now way bigger than even the collision shape. What I can do is reduce the scale, come to transform inside the scale 0.35, 0.35, which seems to be the right size for my game. I'll do the same principle when it comes to the body. So let's go to body and get rid of that. And in this case, I'm going to pick knife, which will be the basic, sprite frame. It's just for the look because the code is going to change it according to what weapon you have picked. So it will go again with the same scale, 0.35. Perfect. So getting the body sprite to that size is okay. Let's right click on visual, add another child node. We're going to add a marker 2D. And that marker 2D is going to be the muzzle. Um, it will be the starting point of the bullets. The bullet's going to come off from there. Let go to transform, then I need to move it to a specific place. After experimenting, I realized the gun end usually reaches at 70 pixels, something like that, which seems okay. Let's right click again, add another child node. We're gonna add a point light 2D. And when it comes to point light 2D was a little bit, hard for me to kind of set it up. Let's rename that point light 2D as flashlight beam. Now this flashlight beam, as I said, it was a little bit complicated for me to set up. I don't know if I forgot to add the asset which was required, but in my beta version of these games, I kinda use something for the texture. I do not just remember if I forgot to add it here in this new game or something. Let's see, flashlight. No, these are the animations, not the, you know, not the texture for the light. We can find this in the props as well, neither in player. Um, what am I doing? In fonts, seriously. So I thought at first I could find it inside here, or maybe it's a crop version of this, but I don't think so. So let's just skip that. But first, we're gonna go with the texture scale first. We're gonna go with 3.2, and in terms of color, the light color, I prefer something a little bit, yellowish or a little bit orange. I don't want something completely white. The white light is a little bit boring to look at. Let's reduce that. Yeah, something like this seems to be okay. And now, in terms of energy, we need something like 1.3, because if you increase too much the energy, the light will be so bright that you won't even see the character itself. Now let's come to the range. Uh, the range seems to be okay, nothing to change yet. Now for the color, the shadow color, no need to change anything either. Just enable shadow so that the lights can produce shadows when it bounces off certain types of object. Now let's try to see if the texture is hidden somewhere here. What was this one? Do not. Okay, I at first I thought the light was part of that sprite sheet. Now, there is no way to crop that image in a single image, so we'll come back to that later. I'll fix the flash light beam later. Then move on to the next stages. Right click, add an add child node. We're gonna add a camera. And for the camera, there are also a few parameters that we can play around with, like the zoom, the position smoothing, and rotation, and things like that. And before even we move a little bit further, we can come to the flashlight beam and check a few things. Okay, so the shadow does not require any change, neither does that. But in visibility, do I need to change something in visibility? Visibility, I think we keep the layers as they are per default. Now, on the camera, as I said, we can change parameters like zoom. So I'm going to go with a zoom of 1.4. And also in terms of position smoothing is how fast the camera can catch up with your player. If you want the camera to kind of lag a little bit before reaching the player, we can reduce it to something like 1 or 2, which seems to be cool. It's even written pixel per second, so it's how many pixel per second the camera catch up on your player. For this fast game as mine, I I wanted to catch up quickly, so that's why I put 8. Now we're gonna add something else. We're gonna add a line 2D. Then so this line 2D, we're gonna I just realized something. All these line 2D flashlights and camera, they are not child node of visual. The only thing child node of the visual is the flashlight, muzzle, and the bodies. But the camera and that line are not part. So that node line 2D, we're gonna rename it as SMG laser. I wanted something fancy for my game, so I added a laser. Now we can come to the inspector side and play around with few settings. So the width of the laser, which is kind of like how thick the line will be. And the laser is a red beam. If you want something special for your game, you can reduce it. And to make it a little bit semi-transparent, I'm going to change the alpha value from 255, which is the maximum, to something like 200 or 170 for even smaller amount. Now it's way more transparent and well, looks good. We're going to come to visibility and disable the visibility. Uh, let's scroll down, lights mask, nothing to change. And something crucial to change is the Z index. I need it to be the highest possible. That's why I set it on 40, meaning the laser of the SMG gun will be on top of everything. Let's go to the player, right click, add a child node. We're going to add something called audio stream player 2D. Click on that. We're going to duplicate it in multiple instances. So now what could happen is I'm going to rename each of these audios to match up the sound that I did for my game, and always start with SFX handgun. This part might take a lot of time because you need to adjust, write up everything that I can remember about the sound that I need from the character. So I got a gun with my character. I got a knife, so I need that sound as well. And for the knife, SFX knife, move on to the next one, which be SFX, the rifle. Next one will be SFX. We got a shotgun also. Beside that, we got SFX to add also. And something I forgot to tell you is that there is no sprite animation for SMG in my game, so I'll be reusing the shotgun as an SMG. The only difference would be how the bullets are coming out. You know how a shotgun works, and the SMG will be way different. And I will do the same with the rifle. The regular rifle AK-47, I'll be reusing it as a sniper rifle. Somehow I tried to surf on the internet to find, one more different types of weapon using this type of character, but I couldn't. Then I know absolutely no one who actually can recreate this type of asset for me with different type of weapons. I do not have any contact with any 2D artist or 3D or neither. I just work on my own, unfortunately, which limited me a lot. So beside the SMG SFX, we got SFX Reload, SFX Melee, SFX Earth, SFX Def, SFX the Footstep. Yeah, but the footstep, I'm gonna reduce the volume a little bit because if the SFX of the footstep is way too loud, it's gonna be, you know, annoying. And we've got also SFX empty, but SFX empty is basically for the gun. When you're trying to shoot and your magazine is empty, it's gonna do some clicking sound. You'll find the audio in my asset, the open asset. You'll come to guns and you realize that I got them here. So at this point, I think it's pointless for me trying to explain to you how they're being set up because you can't even hear them. I didn't record that part. So let's just catch up once I'm done setting up the sound effects. Now I'm done with all this setup for the audio thing, the SFX audio thing. We're gonna come to flashlight beam. I'll just fix it very soon. I come to player and attach a script to the player that makes sure that it's being saved into script. So click on script here. Now I can click open and now create. Now my script is saving, it's saved there. Now I can code it quickly. Let me show you right here. Here's my script. But of course the script comes with errors. But before that, I found out how actually I created this flash beam. Let's come to flash beam, click on texture. Then we're gonna go to that small arrow and select gradient 2D. After picking up gradient 2D, we're going to change a few things. So we're going to come to the width and change it to 256. Same with the height, 256. We're going to come to the fill is not a linear light, but is radial. As you can see, the character already enlightened on the screen there. And we're going to come and change the parameters from 0.5 to 0.5. Now we're gonna change to 2. So from 0.5 to 0.5, now into 2, we're gonna go from 1 up to 5. The light seems to be dark in the middle there. That's normal. Now, if I switch it on and off, you can see that the light is kinda, changing the texture of the character. You will see it once the game is launched. Let's come here first. We gotta pick the color. We can have dark color. Dark color is like a dark light, not even properly like the proper dark light. So now I gotta play around to find a specific color that I want for the character. Yes, this one seems to be bright enough to be light, but I just feel like it's missing that yellowish color. Okay, this one, right? Seems to be okay at this point. It just kind of match up the color that I picked down there. Right now, if I zoom out and let me try to trigger this on and off, you can see the light is on, the light is off, the light is on, and the light is off, which seems okay. If you want to use the torch looking style, you can just basically, instead of selecting radial, you select linear. We just need to play around with a few setups. Now, we can see here, down here, it says item MBD is not really recognized. It is a small issue on how I named my globals is because item DB, instead of having a B in capital, it has a B in, now if I come here in my script, let's remove this item, and if I write item, now you can see appearing item DB. Now let's scroll down again. Here is effect FX. Now effect FX also is a global script. Open project settings in global here. You can see effect FX. The X at the end wasn't written in capital. See, small details like this can actually block your script from working properly. Just come here, effect FX, and that's it. Seems to be small to implement and very easy to add on. Now let me scroll all the way down to see what's remaining, and I think that's it. The only problem now we're left with is the scenes we haven't created: the bullet, the thrown grenade, and a placed explosive. I will create them, so it will be easy to implement. Now, if I come here and try to make them as comment, just to try to run my play actually, I just want to show you how the character will look. So we got this issue with, all right, let's just rename it as var. Instead of var here, instead of const, they're going to be var, just to kind of remove that error thing. Now, if I run my game, let not run that one, but we're going to come to this icon, run current scene, click on that one. We are running the player only, not the whole entire game. So it's going to load the player, then it's telling me weapon dictionary item DB is now. Oh yeah. So I'm unable to run it. Why? It's because I will show you very soon uh, where this error is coming from. Let's just go Control Z and we're gonna run the player later. The issue that was coming was the fact that everything is a comment here. So we are trying to call a function inside here, but the whole function or the whole thing behaves as if it was empty. Now I need to fix what's related to this too. So back to 2D. Let's click on the small cross. We're gonna click on add a type of node, and we are looking for an area 2D, type area 2D, and let's rename the area 2D as bullet, which was required by the player in his script. So we're gonna say bullet. Do not forget the first letter always in capital. Now we got bullet. Okay, I didn't clear this after trying to run the player. That's perfect. Add a child node to bullet, and we're gonna add a collision shape to it. Now add another child node to bullet again. We're gonna add another stream player 2D. Let's click on bullet. Let's come to monitorable and disable it. And after that, we go to collision. My bullet collides on layer 3, not layer 3, layer 4 only. And the mask takes the first 3 masks. And now the collision shape, it doesn't matter how you make it because by script, it should be just changed somehow to a certain size. So I'll just keep that part. Now, when it comes to audio stream player, or what you can also do is just put a circle if you want, because it seems like my bullets are a little bit circular instead of a rectangular shape mode. It just no matter what you do, it doesn't matter. In the script, it should be changed to a different shape or whatever. Now, on audio stream player, what we're gonna do is basically attach a script to it, then sorry, an audio file to it. Then before we add that, we're gonna just change first the name of the audio stream player 2D to SFX impacts. Let's come down here. I can open guns and not in guns where I can find the audio I'm looking for. So scroll up in audio, I'm looking for something called impact. Right, this seems to be okay, but the only issue also with this is I do not know what I was thinking when I just imported this impact thing, because this impact is when the bullets collide with metal, it makes that click sound. So I would rather take the eats one, which makes a more neutral sound where it collides with a flesh, wall, or an object instead of, but you can dive into complex stuff where your bullets can detect exactly what kind of object is colliding with to play a different type of impact sound, which will be complicated, but I trust you guys. You are really pretty smart to push this project even way further. I attached the script to my bullets, then I realized I didn't, give it a directory path. So what I need to do is just open the scenes folder and drag and drop that down here. And I need now to reattach bullets, otherwise I'm gonna get a small warning telling me that the bullets area couldn't find a proper path to its own script. Um, yeah, I just on a snap just code it really quick. No, I'm kidding. It took me a lot of time to actually just adjust these things. So the bullets now is done. Here's my bullet, well coded and properly working. Good. Now, if I come to player, as you can see for the bullet now, it's disappeared. The warning disappeared now, meaning, yeah, pretty much what we need now to do is just create all these type of things. Let's go back to 2D. We can hide this and save. Uh, Click on the cross. Let's go on add a node. All right, click on add a node. Now we are looking for a character body 2D. And here we're gonna create our enemy. We'll be having two types of enemies, sorry. We'll be having an enemy made out of script, and the other one will be just a copycat of the player. Add a child node to the enemy. We're gonna add a collision shape 2D. Add another child node. We're gonna add a node, a regular node 2D. Double click on it. Let's rename that regular node as, what am I renaming it as node? As visual, and that's it. Right click on enemy again, add a child node. Now we're gonna add an area 2D. Let's rename the area as its zone. Add a child node, and we're gonna add a collision shape 2D to our area. Add another child node to enemy, and from here I think we need a node just chain player 2D. Duplicate that, at least 3 of them. Let's rename the first one as SFX heat, and the second one as SFX something like death, and the last one SFX growl. Is it growl? Growl, growl, ground growl. Right, let's save it. Let's rename it before we save it inside here. Now let's go to enemy root node, move to collision. And here when it comes to collision, we're gonna change the shape and we're gonna go with something circular. And the radius of that circle for the collision shape of the enemy is 30. Um, let's look it. Let's come to visual, nothing to add on visual. And for each zone, once each zone is selected, we're going to come to collisions, and my player will be colliding on the second mask, and no layer yet. The layer will be set up directly from the script. Now, for the collision shape for the each zone, we use a reddish color first to kind of differences between those two. And beside that, I will what a big rectangular shape, circular shape, the circle shape, and the radius is 32 to kind of slightly be bigger than the collision shape itself. So the hit zone Basically, you could make it so the same diameter, it doesn't really matter. And once that's done, Control L to lock that. I will come to SFX8 and I will just drag and drop add the required audio for that. So for SFX8, there is an audio file called SFX8. And for SFX Def, there are two def man def scream. I can change the pitch scale to make it, the more you increase the pitch scale, the more high frequency, the more you get the high frequency. Yeah, why did I write ground? I was saying ground all along. It's ground, no ground. So the more you increase the pitch scale, as I was saying, the voice becomes thinner and higher in frequency, and the more you reduce it, it becomes a little bit low in frequency and big voice like a monster, or something like that. If you wish to create something like that. But in my case, my enemies are like tiny objects and tiny things, so I don't really need them to have a loud, big voice or something. Now, here again, always make sure that you click on the folder before knowing where your script is being saved, just for that. And the visual as well, because we'll be using the visual Node 2D to create the appearance of my enemies. All right. Yeah, now we're done. The code has been set. As you can see here, again, it's telling me projectile scene is not made. I'll make it after making the second type of enemy. We won't really be fighting around that yet. The enemy was made. I think that I forgot also to change the enemy layer of collision. So the enemy collide on layer 3 and the first 3 mask, just like the player and the bullet. And beside that, I think I'm forgetting something. Yeah, but we'll see it later. So come on, enemy inside the scenes folder, click on Control D, duplicate it and rename it enemy human. Here it is. Now the enemy human opened. You just come disconnect the script first, disconnect the script on visuals as well. You come to enemy and rename it enemy human and save. You can see down in my scenes folder there that it has been just a duplicate of my enemy to kind of speed things up. So in terms of collision shape, the enemy human goes for 20. And in terms of visuals, instead of visual node, we're going to rename it as visuals and add a child node. You could have added a child node, but since it's just a copycat of my player, we can just come copy these two first. We come on visuals and pass them as a child. We can pass a sibling, but we're just going to pass it as a child. Now we got the same exact looking as player. Now, in this case, for the enemy, you have to remove the body sprite frame. So we remove that resource. It's going to be added via script. So for now, it's okay. Let's have that up. What's next? Let's go back again to player. I need to add the muzzle and the flash beam. Just copy them and come to visual, pass as child. Because if you pass as siblings, they'll be routed to the enemy human root node directly, which not what we intend to do. So the hit zone seems to be okay. Light captain and feet, that's properly working. The body sprite without anything added there. And I'll also recommend you in the inspector section after removing the sprite frame to remove also that animation because it's going to kind of be hard for you. So on the flashlight beam, we're going to remove the texture. It's going to be added via script. And in terms of energy, it's going to be less energetic than the players want. You can also change the light to something, I don't know, reddish if you want, like the enemy to look like enemies or something like that. Now let's come to the hit zone. The hit zone will remain exactly as for the enemy non-human, I will call him. Let's just remove that reddish color first. Let's hide this, and this seems to be okay. It seems to be really okay. Um, All right, now I need to add something. Let's go to the enemy root node. We're gonna add a animated sprite. No, not the animated sprite to the audio stream player. Sorry, guys. I'm starting to get this. All right, audio stream player, and the audio stream player will be renamed as SFX attack. Click on OK. Now, if I come all the way down here, comes to audio, I can pick a knife audio and add that to that SFX, which seems to be good. But since this enemy is not the type of monster, I can keep the death, but the growl was made for enemy, which is kind of like a monster enemy or something like that. But these enemies which are copycats of human do not need to growl. That would be really weird to hear him growl. Let's go to enemy human and we're gonna attach a script. Make sure we are in the scripts folder and click on open, then now create. Let's hide that, let's reduce this. And kadum, the is the script. Let's reduce these things and that as well. Now here we're gonna create another element, an area 2D as well. Now this would be what those two enemies actually requires, which is called enemy projectile. The enemy human do not require it because the enemy human will be using the same bullet as the player, just using different type of name to implement it. Now save the projectile inside the scenes folder. Now I'm going to implement a few things. Add a child node to that. We need just a collision shape. And that's pretty much what we require from it. Let's come to the root node enemy projectile in collision. We're not colliding on layer 1, but we're colliding on all these downside marks. Attach a script. Um, Before click on create, I gotta select the script folder where to save it. Click on create. Now again, the miracle appear. Boom, there is the script. And the script also required something else. So it's basically we are creating things which each previous component actually requires for it to work properly. Let's keep on moving. Let's attach another, let's create another object. So for this object, we're gonna go with a static body 2D, and here we're gonna create what called a destructible, which would be a props or something like that. All that destructible thing will be held or be generated by code. So this one will be just an empty shell, would be holding images, and the collision will be also set up via the code. So add to the destructible a sprite 2D, and add another child node, which will be the collision shape 2D. And we need something special as well, which is a light occluder, something called light occluder, which kinda creates a shadow. Because when the light is being casted, if an object where the light is being casted does not have this light occluder node, the shadow will never appear. Like my player do not have a light occluder, so its shadow will never appear. Let's come to destructible. We're gonna select the disable the collision. Then make sure the first three masks are enabled and we are still on layer 1. Let's set that up. And in terms of collision shape, we're going to remove that. I do not need the default rectangular shape. And the light occluder do not require anything. Let's attach a script real quick. I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like this takes less time to create and generate a game. You can even see it by the tutorial. I've created two tutorials in one tutorials where the game still use the same type of asset, but two games in one, which seems to be pretty easy because everything is made by a script. Let's create another object. After the destructible, we're gonna go with another type of area 2D, not a static body, remember? And this one's gonna be fire patch, which was required by the enemy projectile uh, and by enemies, because you need things like fire patch. Beside the fire patch, we also create something called hazard zone. So all this will be created and generated quickly. So the fire patch does not have a layer, then only use the mask 2 and 3, add a collision to fire patch, remove that shape in the collision shape 2D. Let's let's move down here. We're gonna come to Where is it? Yeah, file patch right here. Duplicate file patch by pressing Control D, and we're gonna create from file patch. We're gonna create other zone. So why am I duplicating other zone from file patch? Is because these two have the same. I can copy the name and double click to open it. I'm duplicating other zone from Firebatch because they got the same node structure, nothing added, nothing removed, and the collision also remained the same, so I didn't want to recreate it from scratch. So we got this Firebatch. I can come to Firebatch, attach a script to it, make sure we are saving on the same right folder, and click on create and set that up. That comes out of zone. Let's click on this small cross. We're going to open this folder and click on script and open it and click on create. So wonderful. So guys, I will be exporting when I'll be uploading my files on ITO for you guys to support me via my work. I will also upload these versions which still require a lot of work, then my final product, which are a little bit more advanced. Now, as you can see, I'm opening those old scripts which were requiring uh, some of these things. As you can see, item database still require a pickup, but for player, now the player still requires also the grenade and those C4 blasts. So we're just gonna create those as well. I come here, click on the small cross. Now we're gonna create what was required from the database, which was the pickup. What are the pickup? Pickups are basically the pickup that I'm creating right now is just an area which will be holding different types of pickups, ammo, gun, a scope, grenades, and sometimes even guns. Okay, most probably guns also. To the pickup, we're gonna add a child node, a sprite 2D, and a collision shape 2D. So for both of these, we gotta remove them and keep them empty as we would like. Now to the pickup, add another child node. We're gonna add a label, and the label will be used to display the name and types of pickup that we are getting. So let's rename that label as prompt, which will be prompting what we actually displaying. If it's the ammo, it will be written there, maybe rifle ammo, rifle, something like that. Now, first of all, we're gonna come to pick up root nodes, put it on layer 3, and select only mask 2. Now, let's come to sprite 2D. We do not really need to implement anything on sprite 2D yet. So we'll go to prompt. We'll come to horizontal alignment and send it to center. The vertical alignment, we're going to set it to center as well. Now, if I zoom in, I would like to change a few things here and there. And all those things should be location because where it's placed right now is kind of like the bottom, so it's going to overlap with the image. If I need it to be on top of the image of or the icon of the item being picked up, I need it to be a little bit higher. So I'm going to change the x-axis to the size. Sorry, first we change the size. So it will be in 160 by 25. And in terms of position, it will be -80, which centers it. And when we center it, we can send it up. And in Godot, to send an object up, we have to go minus, unlike in math, because in math, when you're going up, y increase, but in Godot, somehow it's inverted. Now the font size will keep to something like 15. Yeah, in theme override, you pick the font size to 15. You can play around those things if you want to kind of customize it, but I will do it via script, so it doesn't matter for me right now. Let's add another object. Here we're gonna add a node 2D as type, and this one will be placed explosive. Let's copy that name if you, yeah, I need to copy it because when I'm saving, I do not want to rewrite it again with underscore. So placed explosive just as written there. All the small details, you will see why I'm going through all those small details. It's gonna matter later. Let's add to the sprite the place object explosive sprite 2D. Let's add an area 2D to it as well. And that area 2D, we're gonna rename it to something like a trigger area or trigger zone, depending on what you want to name it. But make sure that when it's being called in its script, it's actually called trigger zone and not trigger area because you'll be copying my code And my code, it should be written trigger area. So better for you to write it trigger area. Now the trigger area require a collision shape 2D. I'm gonna strip the rectangular shape, which I do not really like to use. I prefer circular shapes, especially for a top-down game, which makes it easier. And the area will remove all the layers. Then it should be only colliding on mask one, no, on mask three only, sorry. And I'm just checking on my notebook. That's why sometimes it feels like I'm confused. It's because I've written down where every object should be going and every layer where it should be colliding and all the thing. So now, in terms of collision shape, we're gonna go with circular shape as I said before. We can go with something big. 50 seems to be okay. For the blast explosive, so this area will be detecting and deflagrating, something like that. Unfortunately, it does not send projectile for a regular grenade or something like that. It just explodes and gives a certain area. Add another node, and it's a node type 2D again. So for this one, it should be a thrown grenades, thrown grenade. I did not duplicate it from place to explosive because the structure seems to be a little bit complicated and different. Oh my God, what have I done? Now I have to rewrite it down because I copied the wrong thing. So it's here a fraud grenade with T in capital and G in capital. Need those two in capital, otherwise it's gonna be a mess when you're trying to call that scene via script. Now add a child node to our sprite, to our thrown grenade, attach a script to it. You see our structure is small and quick to make. Just a node 2D and a sprite, simple as that. We attach a script to it. Let's come to plus explosive, attach a script to it as well. Make sure we are selecting scripts, the scripts folder, sorry, and pick up, attach a script to pick up as well. Come here, click on scripts and open, click on create and generate the scripts. Now, enemy human, as you can see, grenade has disappeared, item database disappeared, the player also, all these errors have disappeared. Wonderful. Now let's come to player. If I run my current scene, I actually run the game, not the current scene, which is insane. Because if I come here and click on easy and click on start, nothing will start. Even if I click on training center, only quits can actually allow me to quit. Now, if it comes to this, they're saying many menu are trying to call scenes that don't exist yet. So the menu script is almost empty. So we have to run the player current scene, not the whole entire game. Now I can move my player around. If I press space, I can attack. I even connected my current PS4 controller. Right now, I'm moving my character using my PS4 controller, which makes it easier instead of tapping on my keyboard. This is wonderful, but the fit seems to be a little bit off. I will see if I can actually fix that. We're trying to call something visual light and all this script, SFX rifle and all that thing. Um, Seems that we'll fix it later. Let's first finish all the things that we require for the game currently. Let me code this. Done. So I've added all the script that were required for each of these objects that you've created. The pickup, the plastic explosive, and for the thrown grenade. You can see there are a few variables that you can see, damage, radius, fuse, burn time, and all that thing. The smoke and all those parameters. You can play around with them if you want your grenade to deflagrate quickly or to cause more damage or something like that. Now, when it comes to item type, we got grenade, Molotov, and all those parameters determine the kind that we got. And this one for the place explosive is C4. And that's also another complex script for another day. So C4 when you place on the trap and all that thing. And for pickup, you get the item ID, is a weapon or not, if it's just a icon and all that thing. Now we have seen like from there, we got no more errors or red indicator on our scripts, meaning all the scripts have been done properly. Let's come here and add a new thing. We're gonna add what called a canvas layer. And from here now, it's time to create a few things that we need for my game. So we're gonna rename it as pause menu. After pause menu is made, I can click on Control S to save it. And I gotta save it as one word, no underscore there, especially for these special scenes that I'm creating right now. Now, moving on to the next one, which would be almost similar to this one, would be to create another one using canvas layer. And this fellow one will be the game over menu. You should have seen it coming because pause and game over menu are literally almost similar most of the time. Let's copy that name. When we're saving, just Control V, and now we have a custom beautiful name for each of these things. Let's add another one. Click here. Add another type of node again. In this case, it's another canvas layer, and this one is the HUD. We're gonna save it as HUD, all capitals, like just like that. And in HUD, uh, in my HUD, we're gonna just move this next. My HUD also will be maybe generated by script. I think that's better if I generate everything from script. It makes it easier to implement and easy to, fix up and patch up here and there. Now we're gonna add the control nodes, and here we're gonna create what we always need for mobile control, which is a virtual joystick. Let's rename it virtual joystick. Copy that name. Press Ctrl as we save virtual joystick in one word. Again, click on save. Now from there, I can open the layout. Now I can start customizing my layout. So custom minimum size, the minimum size that our virtual joystick can go is 130. Our virtual joystick use a type of node, which is a control type node. And in terms of size, you do not need to change it after adding the custom size there. And seems like, yeah, that's all needed on in terms of node structuring and node modification. Add another child node. Now here we're gonna add another canvas layer, and this one we're gonna name it as training training center. So you see from my offline game to my online game, my offline game seems to be more more entertaining in terms of play more than online. It's because most of these things like training center, I did not add it on my online version. I might add it in a recent or more advanced feature you know. But for now, I just kept it for the offline version. We're gonna come to main menu. We're gonna copy these two nodes, which is the background and the sound, and we're gonna add them to our training center. Just process chart. Now I want to modify this background, so let's first save. And yeah, this is quite the first things I've ever done in my entire life. Like it's my first time on this YouTube channel to create something from the same. Let add a character to the first. So I was saying, I'm creating two tutorial in one is because the assets and the structure of this project looks similar. So I wanted just to create everything at the same time. So here I just created a character body 2D, which I saved and named as training dummy, which will be a objects used inside the training center. So beside that, I'm gonna go there add a child node, which will be a collision shape 2D, and that training dummy will be colliding on layer 3, not on layer 2, and on the first three masks. So beside that, let's save that, and let's see if we require anything else. In terms of collision shape, let's shift the rectangular shape and go for a circular shape with a radius of 20. That's perfect. I can lock it. So these training dummy are basically like kind of movable targets where you can stab, shoot, or whatever you want. And then now attach scripts. Remember our beautiful ritual where we always have to save it in scripts to avoid messing around with all these things. Okay, create. If you want even to be more organized than I am, you can create for each scene. Each scene in your game should have its own folder, which might take you a lot of time, but it should be more organized. In my case, I just wanted to, to kind of slow down on those long tutorials that I've been making so far because takes a lot of time to import and it's huge in size. Sometimes even the volume kinda crash out because of the length and the size of all that work put on together. So I just prefer to work quickly like this. I'll be now from now on be just mixing my tutorial type. I'll be going for the beginners for beginner tutorial, I'll be going fully explaining every line of code. But for intermediate and advanced, I do not need to do that. I will just make sure you guys got to get the code via the the PDF or a PPT or a Word document, whatever you want. It should be mostly PDF. Right. Seems like there is no scripting inside my scenes folder, meaning I didn't make any mistake at all. Now I gotta code all these fillers from where I was up to here. Wonderful. Now from pause menu, I've created a script here. Seems to be short, but when you're typing it takes a lot of time. We go to HUD. HUD is telling me could not find type tactical wheel. Now we'll come back to that later. And for the virtual joystick, if you want, you can even change the color here. I will just change it for the circle for this oh my god, I'm tired. For the sake of showing you that you can change you can change the color of your entire joystick to match up what you want to make. I wish I could just work around and try to explain to you guys how all these things works, but I'm a little bit exhausted, so I will just do what's actually required to be done. Put script which works properly, and you can just copy paste it. For those of you who are good at coding, you'll recognize what's needed to be changed, and you can even play around with it. Now, let's come to my fellow friend here, which is the HUD. It's telling me the tactical wheel for the weapon wheel and the gadget wheel, and the scope overlay do not exist. So we need to come to the script, right click, create a script. We're creating a script directly via okay, let's just call it manual scripting, creating a script manually instead of creating it from a node. So again, the process goes like right click, go here, then instead of resource, you click on script and you rename it. So the first one that I've created was called pickup spawner. The second one will be the radar. My game, yes, of course, my game will be using a radar system. I wanted something to be, the game to be enjoyable, so you can have a small radar there on your screen. Click again. Beside the pickup spawner and the radar, we're going to add also something called scope overlay. The scope overlay is basically the script which will be zooming out, will be manipulating my player's camera to kind of create that effect of a scope. And beside that, we're going to also create another script called setting menu. Click on create and right click, create a new script again. And this one will be named as tactical wheel. So the tactical wheel will be handling two things. We'll be handling the gadgets and we'll be handling the weapons for my game. I I'm gonna create another script again. And beside the tactical wheel, we also need something called a training manager. The training manager will be basically saving up and generating all the rules and directories that you need for the game. We need also something called web manager. Click on open. Not that they are down. You can see tactical wheel. It should be still crying about this until you add, some line of code inside the tactical wheel itself. As you can see, because the script is empty, so we need to create something here called a class, and that class will be called into another script. Right, I've done that. Now we can see the class name says tactical wheel. If I let me show first. Let me show you first what I've done with all other scripts beside the tactical wheel. So the pickup spawner was also made. The radar was created as well. Now you can see the radar seems to be good. We have a range of 1,500. the background color and all that. But the player icon is white, the enemy color is a kind of orange red, the radar color is orange, the pickup color is green, and the weapon pickup color, I can go for something real purely yellow because that's those like a kind of shady yellow. Now we have purely yellow for weapon pickup. You can change the others according to your own I was planning on adding a legend to explain in the game description what each color means, but you just figure it out yourself. So the setting menu is basically virtually creating a setting where we can modify things like control, display, laser sensibility, graphics, and all that. And we also got the training manager that I've created. And in the training manager is basically handling all the training stuff, which aren't really good to be explained right now, because that's in astronomers number and time consuming look like. You can see now the this error that was coming from the HUD have disappeared. Now I can come and run this. I'm running the current scene for the HUD. Now you can see the HUD appears like this. You might think the custom bar or the F bar seems a little bit basic. You can modify it by finding it into the script and changing that. So that the radar, and this is the pause button, that the wave indicator, and this one shows which weapon is being selected right now. Let's clear that up. Let's come here. Let's clear that all that. Now let's run the game, the entire game. Wonderful. Now my menu appeared. If I click on start game, somehow my start game ends starting. So let's go to training. Let's say aim training, and I can click on aim training, and nothing happened again. Am I missing some lines of code inside here? Maybe I do. So in settings, I get error telling me invalid non-existent function open in bus canvas layer. So I might have a lot of things to fix right now. It might be name mismatch, code mismatch, path mismatch, and all that kind of things. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now you can see all this. I can clear them, then I'll fix that up with you. I would have done it in the background, but you would have also run into such kind of troubles. So I'll prefer to show you myself how it's done. Um, let's first add a child node. And what happened is the game didn't run because I do not have a game. The game didn't run because there is no game inside the game. There is no arena or anything such that. So we create a node 2D, rename it as game, and save it up. Now that game will require something to play. So we add a child node, a node 2D. I'm gonna duplicate that node 2D 3 times. Now we need what we call node containers. So this one will be an arena, which will be displaying the arena we need. This one will be an enemy container, enemies container. Try to match exactly the name as I'm writing it currently in my scene section here. And the bullets container as well, because any mismatch in name that you create in the scene when you are writing up the name of a node is going to reflect in the code, and you have to clear up a lot of things like I'll be doing very soon. I'm pretty sure of it. So beside that, we're going to add the player. So add the player. Now the player position, we come to transform, and this position need to be at 0, 0. Right. You do not need to move it or need to change anything. You just need to move it there. Add another child node. We're going to add something called a node 2D again. And this node 2D, we're going to rename it as Wave Manager. And this Wave Manager, I already have the script for it. So I just need to come here, click on Quick Nodes, and inside the search files, we just click Wave Manager. Now, if I double click, we can attach the Wave Manager script we have already created. Add a child node to that Wave Manager. We're going to add something called we need to add something called audio stream player. We're going to duplicate it. Let's rename first one as SFX wave starts. SFX wave starts. And I just currently realized that I do I have a sound for SFX wave start and SFX wave clear? Not sure. I will just make sure that I do not forget to add the link and the name of where I get all this audio for my game. Then, of course, this audio type are for free. Let's also drag and drop HUD inside my game, but HUD should be child node of the root game, not the wave manager. And beside the HUD, we also need to add something, the pause menu. Beside the pause menu, also the game over menu, and add another child node. Now we need to add something for the music in my game, or you know, so let's rename that as music. Wonderful. Now, once that's down, let's come to Arena and Game. Arena and Game requires scripts, so let's click on Create. And our Arena as well, click on Create. Then I just realized I'm saving these two scripts directly into the scene folder instead of the script folder. Right, let's first code it. So I've added scripts to my game, which is a short script as compared to the rest of the script in this game. As you can see for the arena will be importing things like destructible item pickups and will be placing them in a random, not a random, I'm like in a logical pattern. So back to 2D. Um, Music, I forgot to add, music to it, which seems to be a little bit stupid to do. Let's reduce this to first. Let's come to audio, and there should be, yeah, here it is, music MP3 format, and we can reduce the volume to -3. And I just remember that my music wasn't looped, so click on import here with the music selected inside the file system, click on loop, and now re-import. Now from now on, every time your music will play, no need via script to loop your music because the music will be playing in loop. It will never stop unless you stop it or mute it yourself. So the music will just be playing infinitely. Now add another node here. We're gonna add a canvas layer again, and in this case, we'll let you know that canvas layer as arena select menu, which were the things missing from my game. Without these things, that's why I couldn't run the game previously. So after adding the arena select menu, we're gonna go back to main menu with those two selected. Just click right click copy, scroll all the way back to arena menu, right, and I'm gonna click paste as a child. Now we got this. Let's add a child node. Let's attach a script. Then I realized that what I just told you, I saved my game and arena scripts directly into the scenes folder. Now I need to move them from there. Just select them, drag, and we're gonna drop them down here inside the scripts and click on OK. Now, after doing that, something I always realize is after you do that, then you run the game, it's going to tell you my script. I can't find the correct path to my script. It will run, but it will be telling you warnings. So the best thing to do is to reattach again the script to that exact node after moving around the script's path. It's a small warning, but I prefer to clear everything, especially when it comes to something like the game, which handles the visual that you see on your screen. So arena select menu, here it is. I need just to code it real quick. Bravo, this is the arena select. Now let's run the game. As you can see now, my arena select looks like this. I can pick whatever I want. I can go even back to the main menu, select the difficulty, come to training center, go back again smoothly. If I click on settings, I get again that same error telling me I'm calling a non-existent function called open in the base of a canvas layer. This goes way back to some logical issues, which you'll see that comes from HUD. So if I go back to my HUD script, I need to look for something related to my current error here. Let's rerun it first. I need to understand exactly what goes wrong. So if I go back here and click on Training Center, go back, it works until I click on Settings. And in main menu settings, in main menu, when I click on Settings button, it's telling me there is literally something wrong. Let's pick that, press Ctrl F. Let's try to find where this is coming from. So it's telling me that the setting menu thing, is it the path? I'm not sure. The path is wrong. The path is wrong to the setting script. I'm actually create that kind of hazard or kind of error there. So let's just come drag and drop it inside those brackets. We're gonna rerun the game again and play until we find where the error is coming from. This is the least interesting part of any game coding. You see now the path is correct. You see I can access my settings. I can pick whatever I want. If I pick mobile touch and display, I can go on full screen and set it on. I can check. I can change the screen intensity. I can change my FPS. I can limit it or put it unlimited. I can go to graphics and click there and put it on ultra. I can reduce the screen and all those things. There's so many parameters they can play around with. You just have to purchase this game or build it yourself. You may enjoy it as I am doing. This is one of the few games that I've made myself where I can spend actually a few hours just trying to play around with it after selecting the neon combat facility and boom, another error. Now, here, invalid access to property key shape on base on object null instance. So this null instance thing is trying to tell me that I'm trying to call something which doesn't exist yet. Let's go to training center, then I'll see what's going on. So in training center, things seems to be working properly. The buttons are working, attack button is working. Okay. Now that was awkward. Kind of like I was teleported there. You can see the joystick also here is dark, but don't worry, I will set it back to default on a whitish color because the environment of my game is kind of dark environment. Why can't I pick it up? I tap to pick up on clay. I'm trying to pick up. Okay, I picked it up. Um, Now if I press on, let's go near these guys. If I come here and deposit my clay on one of them and press on detonate and kaboom, that was wonderful. I can also press on the grenades, then it goes to them and seems to be okay. Now everything is empty here. And the session was complete, which is ended by the training center manager or something like that. Right. Settings works properly. The only issue right now I got is with my I don't think it's linked to the terrain that I chose. It's just linked to the enemy because it comes from enemy script. So the error should be coming specifically from the enemy script, which should be fixed. Okay, that's a condition loop, which is if the shape is circle, and it strikes me exactly there. So now let's see each shape is related to this referencing it. Each shape is a collision shape, which all right, found the error. Wait, now found what exactly goes wrong with this. Okay, now here it's basically the names in the script and the name of the nodes here are not the same. So you just have to remove that green part and put it back again over and over again. That's why I told you, like naming these things. If you name them and the scripts you type the wrong thing, now we'll be getting errors. Then since I'm so used to reusing my scripts from other projects, I usually run into this kind of errors, which is Irritating. What in the world have I just done there? Why is the equal sign after the green path? Is it a path or reference? It's kind of like an hashtag. Get rid of that. And I think for these ones it's okay. Let's rerun it again. Let's just run the entire game. Please work, please work, please work, please work. Right, click on easy, start the game. We're gonna click on start. Just play. Right, now it's okay. I'm getting damage. I can pick up stuff. I'm using my PS4 controller. That's why you don't see my mouse being going around and pressing stuff. So also just want to show you that I can use my med kit. I can kill them using my knife. But let me try to find a weapon. So you can see on my radar there, the pickup are green and the weapons are yellow. So the torch, I don't know how the torch is a weapon, but let's just call it a weapon. But as you can see, I did not switch to weapon. I'm trying to press switch weapons on my PS4 controller, but it seems it doesn't work. So what exactly is going on? Maybe the issue comes from the torch, but another torch again. And that seems to be a little bit tricky. Because if I cannot change and switch between weapons, it's kind of pointless. All right, let's see. We got on the top left there weapons. So let's go to them. Yeah, here comes the knife. But I just picked up the knife, didn't I? I even picked up a rifle. So what is going on? Pick up another torch again. Let's come down here and see what we can pick. This is another rifle, but seems that I cannot switch between weapons. Uh, let's close this up and see what our debug says. So it says this node wasn't found. It's again a mismatch in the name. So if the name mismatch, create that error. It's about the capital P in my main menu scene section. I've written it as preview, but not with a capital P. So that mismatch just create that error there, which I'm not gonna lie, it's annoying. And beside that, let's see what else it says. So here it says something about this arena select case mismatch opening resource. Another case mismatch. So it might be linked maybe to the name or something like that. But seems it doesn't track it because it comes as a warning, not an error. Now here it says in player that there is also a name mismatch here in player. So we have to open player and flash beam gotta go bit drag and drop. What have I done? Why is it appearing till time? Oh, kinda see why. It's because I've selected muzzle and flash beam at the same time. Right. That bad. Let's get rid of it. And we just flashlight, beam, drag and drop here. And that's perfect. Uh, also comes to rifle. Here it's written SFX rifle. And here, oh my god, I've written rifle with double F. Or it's rifle with one F. Drag and drop it there. Let's scroll down and try to find what else. So here it's linked to the sprite frame resources. Let's scroll down again. It says equip weapon. Okay, this is linked directly to the sprite frame, but I do not handle the sprite frame in my player, meaning the error is coming from outside the player and causing the player not to kind of switch weapons. Weapons frames. Which scripts do I handle my weapons frame from? Um, right, here it's telling me the setting menu script and the path is not correct. So setting menu again. Or we'll come back to the player sprite frame thing later. Let's just copy this part and see what we got. Asset font, I think that's correct. Asset font, that's correct as well. Okay, most of these guys are just linked to the asset thing. And we got also script in settings. I think that error just been okay. Now the player thing, I gotta find out where exactly this error is coming from. So double click on that, press Control F. I got the first one. Now where is it coming from? Flashlight. Just talk about flashlights not being able to be loaded. Um, I'm a little bit lost in my own script, which let's clear this. Sometimes you just need to run the game to try to understand exactly what goes wrong. I often do that, just close the errors and try to clear what I just corrected. And once that's done, I'll see exactly what I can fix. All right. Switch weapons. I cannot switch my weapons. Now go back again. We get the stem game scene loaded. Okay, the path might be bad. Here we're looking for something called what? We're changing from right. Now all that just redundant error getting here. All right, this is more specific. It says could not load. The error is being pushed by my own script, telling me that I could not load the resources. But oh, item database. I should have done from there. Okay, so my item database is the one handling all these resources, is the one loading them. So if we can't load them, I have to understand why is my item database refusing to load my item database is strictly it can't load what I want to load. It can't load the frames. So the only logical explanation is that this path here is not correct. If the path is not correct, let's scroll. Let's move this tab a little bit. Let's close this. We're gonna rewrite the path. So to write the path here, I think I think I forgot what was there before. Oh, it's knife dot trace. So oh my God, what am I doing? Uh, right. Back to fist. So they thought I kind of pressed my button like randomly a little bit. That's why everything kind of glitch and closed up. So here we just have to remove what was before and pass the new one by selecting the resource file. I see such kind of errors can happen even on small things like this, just impact the whole game. Now for the knife use knife actually, and knife goes with knife. The handgun, you go the handgun. Yep. So right after this, I would have to show you how to create this game in local area network. It won't take much time as this one did, because unlike this one, everything had to be made from scratch. But with the other one, all I need to do is just implement and change what need to be changed. Add the network setup, add the lobby, add the multiplayer HUD, things like that. And most probably change your things that I do not have in the current game. Yeah, come to rifle, and I think all the resources were. Oh yeah, you remember when I told you that sniper and the normal rifle, which is the AK-47, are sharing the same sprite frame, so you need to make sure of that. And the SMG and the shotgun also share the same type of resources. If you're just correcting the path, I think everything should be right now. Just corrected everything that needed to. I'm just doing a final check. I think I did not change the flashlight though. Flashlight. I don't remember dragging and dropping the flashlight. Here. Let's just save that, clear the debugger, go back in and clean everything. Now run the game again. Let's see what comes here. Now I'm gonna pick start game, neon combat facility, and we got this. Now I'm using my PS4 controller again. My PS4 controller, I kinda override everything. Okay, it's kinda glitching right now. I don't know why. Now I'm using my SMG. As you can see, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You don't have your sound, but this game is so satisfying with the screen vibrating when you're shooting because of the recoil. But there is an overlap with this, which I do not really like. And that's a task for you guys. We just need to move it around here and there. Now we get another error from enemy human. It's also related to the each shape. So it's basically mismatching names. Let's first stop the game, scroll all the way up. Okay, not really up, 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 up. All right, in this section. And from this section, we'll need to change and remove all the green names and references to rename them according to what should it should be named to kind of have a smooth. Your current game is not better than the final one. Okay, see, this one was made out of the markets or the template that I've been working on for months now. So this one took me almost 3 days to replicate, but the original one, experimenting, changing, touching here and there, getting advice and ideas here and there from my relatives to kind of improve the game. That's what made the final project so good, but not better. It's good, but not better than the final game that I've made. You'll be able uh, to purchase all both of them, like the two of them. You can download the tutorial version project and the final project version. They will be at the same price and 1 unit, which would make it easier for you guys to just get. Now, all needed right now is just a drag and drop all along. I think I'm done with that drag and drop thing. Let's just clear this. Again, I'm getting this error, so I don't know. I don't know exactly why. It's not really an error, but it's kind of like it's more of a warning telling me that, case mismatch opening request file. So what do you mean case mismatch? If the path is correct, how am I mismatching the path? I do not really truly understand this warning that's come repetitively like this. Okay, I get another error in enemy in bullet, sorry, the impact, SFX impact. And again, it's a small mismatch. It's because the S of the node section that I just dragged and dropped, the S is not in capital, which creates a mismatch when you're firing the bullet. And they often replicate themselves so many times. You just need to scroll down until you find something else telling you that there is something wrong with this or something wrong with that. He is saying there is an animation of a name attack in Rider. I do not comprehend that. I'm a little bit lost into all that. This one is coming from enemy human. I've just corrected everything from there. Let's clear everything before we rerun the game and try to see if we get any other errors. We'll be ignoring the warnings from now on because I'm tired of working on warnings which are basically all the way similar. Okay, now we are in the neon facility. I can, you know, let move here. I press R1 to pick it up, but I can't. Oh, the collision shape. The collision shape are not great, so some of the time I just bounce against these things. I can't reach something out there. I pick up just something here. What is pick up this? Okay, that wasn't really a gun, was it? It looked like a gun though, which was much confusing. You haven't played the game, but if you try the game, you'll see how satisfying it is. Um, I need to find a weapon to make, I prefer fighting with a weapon instead of fighting with. Okay, that looks like a weapon, but it's not a weapon. Apparently, it might be a scope. Yeah, it might be a scope to a gun. Right here, the yellow stuff. I pick up the gun. This is a shotgun, I think. Yeah, I'm on shotgun. I pick up a rifle. Now let's move down and see what else we got down here. Pick up another rifle, and that's another explosive that I've collected. All right, let's just get rid of these guys and make the game way more interesting. Now let's. All right, all of them are cleared. Pick up this. Wonderful. Seems so good. Let's select the shotgun. If I click on attack, bravo. I can pick up stuff and kill everything around me. Now I got more and more enemies coming around me. I have pressed by mistake circle, so I've dropped all my weapons at once. If I attack, such wonderful game. I've dropped my weapon again by mistake. I don't know how I'm doing it. Wonderful. I love it. Um, that's a smoke grenade. As you can see, when the smoke grenade hit them, they lose sense of orientation. I can move down here, and when they are near me, I just click on detonate, pick up another C4. I can drop it, wait a little bit, and click on detonate, and kaboom. Now let me quit the game, go to main menu. Let's go to training center. I want to show you the things in training center as well. So in training center, here we got these. It's a good actually. And let's go back to main menu. Settings works and everything seems to be working. Now let's come again here. We're getting errors related to the same old warning again and again and again. To be honest, I do not know what I'm doing wrong. Is the path changing on its own manually, or am I trying to path something that wasn't supposed to be pathed here? Here it's saying, okay, these are basically related to something being killed or something like that. I cannot find where this animation with name attack is coming from. I don't even know what is raid. Oh, the radar is the one. The radar is the enemy human variable, which uses the same type of animation as the player. So I do not really know why I'm keep on getting warnings like this. So you can just ignore those ones. Then I think we are done with this section of the offline game. Yeah, done and done. There is no attack here. Yeah, I'm just trying to check exactly where it's telling me there's no animation attack or something like that. But as you can see, the game is completed. The sound and everything works properly, but just few errors that I'm getting here and there. But so far, so good. I am done. Then later, at the end of the game, I'll show you how to kind of implement it. Here, I'll be just, playing around with few settings, trying to change, you know, I'll be trying to change few things, trying to check what's good and not good. I will be changing the sound of the sound effects, the audio here, the SFX. Some of them are way too fast, some of them are way too loud, some of them are too, not appropriate for the game or the gameplay. So now that's done. I go to projects and project settings. I'm gonna come to general and in config, I will show you a few configurations. You cannot, if you create your game and want to export it, you can write the description there. We can remove this old icon, which is the Godot icon. Then I'm going to add my own icon. So I'm going to come into my asset. As I can see here, I have icon and icon 1 and icon 2. So I'm going to pick icon 1. If I come to run, there is really few settings here, but the boost splash is the one more interesting one. So you do not need to remove anything from there. What you can do here is you can replace your boot splash with an image. So if I come to here, I'll pick icon 2 to be my image for this splash push, and the minimum display time, which will be in millisecond. If you put 1500, it seems like 1.5 second, I guess, which is kind of short. You can increase it to 500, which would make it like 2 second, 2 second and five, 2.5 second, something like that. Now from here we can just play and enjoy the game. I do not think I will be again, you know, I might just work on this project to kind of polish it around. And in my final project game, I might add even more terrain, which is easy to implement since I understand very well my code. And I really hope that most of you understand my code, so you might add more terrain that you want. You can add more facilities, neon facilities. You can add, an open door with normal lighting from the outside instead of using artificial lights. Yep, when you choose extremely difficult mode, that's how you get killed because I'm on extreme. If I pick easy, it should be easy to play also. So less talking and more work now. Done with the offline version. Alright guys, now it's time to work on my online version. As you can see, this is the file location of the first version. I just copy paste it, duplicate it. We are still using the same type. So we got survival tactics here. I just copy paste and duplicate it. After you copy, you can just paste it on the side and rename it. I rename it survival tactics LAN. Now I got the both folders. Um, what I can do right now here, I can compress it, so it will be easy for me to upload it online. I will just compress it, then you'll find the link in the description, link leading you to iChill, where you can easily download these files. And beside these two files, I would like also, maybe at the end of the video, I will show you how to export and all the settings that's required to export the game. I will export it to HTML, to Android, and as well as Windows. For iChio, I will show you how to export it, but yet you might have to look for a video on YouTube on how to actually upload the game directly on iChio, which doesn't require too much setup if you follow my instructions easily. Let's create a folder here, and I'm gonna name that folder as export. Let's get into the folder, and inside the folder, what we can do is create a few folders. First one is gonna call Windows for the Windows exports. The other one will be for Android. Obviously, it is APK, and lastly, the file that you need for HTML to export on iTunes and play the game in the browser. So for this one, once you export, you need to zip all the contents of the folder so you can export. Now I opened my game, the one I duplicate from the offline version. What we do is get rid of the preview. After getting rid of the preview, we might need to change a few things again. So as you can see, the name here is changed. It's Survivor Tactics LAN, which is just a copy paste for now. So we need to change a lot of things here. I've also added inside my assets more background. Just needed to vary a few things here. So for the background, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this one. I don't know why I named it icon because it seems like you know, like a background. And things that I was saying in my first video is the fact that we can rename the texture rect background to fill the size of the screen automatically instead of manually adjusting it. Now that is really well set up. Here we can now start working on project settings. Let's go with project settings. In project settings, things we might need to change here: the boots splash. We can change the image which actually runs in the background. So we go to assets, and I'm gonna pick icon one. No, icon, literally written icon with no numbers. And I can increase also the minimum display time to something like 2.5 second in millisecond. I can also change here the alpha value to 0, which I didn't do for the offline version, but it doesn't matter for now. I can come here and change the icon again. Let's come to assets, and the icon I'm using is icon 2 for the game display. And let's scroll all up here, nothing else to change. So here, now we got these. For my online version, as I told you before, my online version does not have the same features as the offline version. So most of these things gotta go. Maybe in a future update, I might return these features of special attacks and reload from a peaceful controller. I haven't really found a way to implement it in an easy way. So from after pause, everything that comes after pause gotta go. We just keep the basics and the minimum require, like move left, move right, move up, move down, attack, switch, weapon, reload, and pause. And the only things we can add is a new action called zoom. The zoom action basically kind of mimic the scope thing, but for the zoom, you do not need to collect a scope. You just, cheat a little bit. When you press your button down, it kind of zoom out to give you an output like that. You can also add PS4 control, but for my online version, I did not really deeply dive into, 100% control over the game itself. Like the PS4 controller does not really, control all the actions via scripts as it does for the offline version. Now, let's come to globals. We're going to get rid of some of them. We get rid of the first one, and game manager, keep game manager, mobile input, item, database, and effect. Let's create a new global, and this one will be profile manager. The profile manager manages the profile of each player who logs in to play on the multiplayer local area network. You also save the script inside the script folder. Click on open and click on create. I can drag and drop it and put it on top of everything. So we got profile manager, game manager, and game manager. Yeah, I will change the scripts of each of every one of them because they now behave a little bit differently to an offline version. And the most important uh, global script or autoload script is the network manager, which manages everything related to the multiplayer LAN game, which allows the connection, which keep them connected, and which send feedback between the host and peers. Now, once open, I just need to add the script. Uh, Let me do that. Right, the network manager got the script, which is perfect. Now, if I check the profile manager we just made, the profile manager got its perfect script. Right. And the game manager also have updated the script for it. What else? Uh, Mobile inputs also, because mobile input kind of changed a little bit for the online version, you can see here. Beside that, also, there was something, the item database, because the item have now to be distributed amongst players, not enemies no more. So for the player, now they need to know, okay, this weapon belongs to this player and not the other one. And same goes for the effects, which of the character is spawning what effects. And most important script is this one, is the network manager, which basically handles the most of the LAN parts and logic, arena, timing, get local address, and all those connectivity needed for Android and PC. I will just show you quickly in this same portion of the tutorial how also to kind of mimic a connection between two phones here in Godot. Let's open the script, and in the script, um, let's check on script. So there are scripts I will have to remove later, which will be very useless in this game, and some I need to add. So we gotta right click, create a new script. One of the scripts I actually need is an adventure manager, because in this case, in my online version, there is no training center. I could have included it, I will include it, but not in this tutorial. At least I will include it in my final game. So we have all three of them. Uh, we have the training center in adventure mode and even more terrain. So the terrain, by terrain, I mean the arenas. I will have more arenas and all that. And beside that, also, we got to update the radar. So the radar system and all that got to be updated. Uh, so let's come here on radar adventure manager, which is empty. Let me add quickly the script. Yeah, here's the script for adventure manager, basically spawning enemies of every type in the adventure modes. It's a little bit different from the survival mode. The survival mode is more enemies are coming per wave, but here the enemies are just randomly coming, and the adventure manager manages that. And the UI theme should also be updated. Right, you do not really need to bother yourself with all of this. All the instruction will be clearly given into a second PDF again, which will be describing um, the LAN version of the game. Now you can see in my player, it's saying identifier settings and here, like the identifier setting does not exist as a global script no more. So all this script need an update, a quick update to properly work on an online version. So here, um, done. Okay, it seems to be in the blink of an eye, but no. Here code, I got like 1,200 lines of code, which are a lot. Now you can see all the errors have disappeared. My enemies are properly working. And I just realized something. We do not need enemy projectile here no more. So we will come here, in enemy projectile, and we'll get rid of it. Then I realized before I get rid of it, I gotta tick something off first. I gotta disconnect the script, which is enemy projectile script. Once disconnected, I can save, close it, then I can come to the file system and delete it. Once removed, .8. So now I gotta go to the script folder. If I click on script folder, if I click only on script folder, I can only do a search inside the script folder. And okay, there was an underscore somewhere. Enemy, yeah, enemy projectile. I can get rid of that. There are also more things that I need to get rid of. Um, if you want a general research, what you can do is press on the root node itself. So the arena selects menu also gotta go because we on online version there is only one arena. Unfortunately, there is only one type of arena. We'll bring it back. Don't worry, I'll bring it back in an updated version of the LAN version. But in this quick tutorial of the LAN version, I gotta get rid of it because it's gonna get into my way and it's going to complicate a few things for me. Once you get rid of it, also get rid of its script. Things like training dummy also gotta go. Disconnect the script and come into search bar. We're gonna type training dummy and the training center as well. So training dummy and training center gotta go. Disconnect both of their scripts. We gotta save them up before even we delete them. We close them first because if you try to delete them when they are open, it will tell you you can open a you cannot delete what instantiated. So all this gotta go as well. All those training related scripts. All right. So here everything has been updated. All the script has been updated. Hazard zone also is something that should go. I do not have an hazard zone requirement for a non-LAN version. So just come to hazard, control, control, then I select both and delete them. I can save and clear the filter file search bar. Once that's done, now we can look ahead to add way more things to kind of implement and work with my online version. First things to do is to add a canvas layer, a new type of scene. I'm gonna rename it as the multiplayer HUD. The multiplayer HUD and the local multiplayer HUD and the local HUD do not work the same principle. The multiplayer HUD works connected directly to the network script, where the HUD, local HUD only works locally, no need of a network pass-through. So after saving the multiplayer HUD inside this scene folder, we can now move to the next step. We can come back to game and push it a little bit on the other side, like create a new one. So this one is going to be named as LAN Arena, LAN game, and the LAN game should contain LAN Arena. A little bit complicated to create it like this, but you will see. Right. So now in LAN game, we're gonna add an arena. We can name it LAN arena or arena directly, which has been confusing me a lot when I was coding because I've been coding this arena because this arena shouldn't be sharing the same script as the arena inside the game, which is local. Add another child node. We're gonna add a node 2D. Let's duplicate that. And this LAN game scene that I'm creating right now kinda has the same node structure as the game, which is unfortunately local. I couldn't copy it from there. So we got arena, players, and the bullet container. And beside that, what we can do is attach another child node. We're gonna add a node, regular node, which node in node 2D, and that one will be match manager, just like in the local game. So for arena, for now, let's just attach this regular arena, but later on we'll just create another script for it. So match manager will come on quick load and we're gonna, all right, so I do not have any match manager yet. It has to be created then. There is no match arena at all. Right. Maybe I thought I created it, but I didn't. So I didn't actually made it. Now let's create it and click on open. Okay, I was just looking for it. Maybe I might have named it differently. I just think, or my mind just think like I've created something called Match Manager somewhere. Right, let's save that up. Back to 2D. What else we can do here is I love now using the search bar to just look for what I'm looking for. So in LAN game, you have to come and drag and drop the scene multiplayer HUD inside there. Beside the multiplayer HUD, we can also come drag and drop the pause menu. And beside the pause menu, what else can I add here? Um, I can copy something. Wait. I think I'm forgetting something here. Is it pause menu? Game menu? No. No. Not really. Yeah, music. That's one I've been looking for. So the music that I actually need also to add in inside the LAN game. Now I have got everything that's required here. Let's attach a script to LAN game, and don't forget our reputation. Always save it inside the script folder. If I click on LAN game, I can just also rename it just like LAN game, exactly like this. LAN game. Open and click on create. Wonderful. This is wonderful. Now it's time to move to the next stage, which will be uh, creating a new canvas layer, scene, and rename it as lobby. We actually need a lobby. So let's save the lobby inside our folder lobby and click on save. Now for lobby, I actually need the same pattern I just copied from my main menu and passed as a child. Now I need to change the background, which I do not truly, seems it doesn't seem fitted for a lobby. So for lobby, I will just look amongst my backgrounds. You can pick whatever you want between the third, you see, but this one does not really satisfy me. Yeah, this one kind of looks like a lobby you see in open area, kind of like that. But don't worry, the coding part will be done, and you won't even be seeing much of that background in the background. You just need it for a you know, for a good visual. And to the lobby, after creating the lobby, I can come to my scenes file. Then what I'm gonna do is come to lobby, Control D to duplicate it. And from my lobby setting, I'm gonna create something which would be the settings. Unlike unlike the offline version, I actually need a scene, a physical scene for my settings in the online version. Um, so let's just move ahead and we can change the background. I'm gonna pick maybe number 4 and put it here. Yeah, number 4 doesn't really match something good. Okay, yeah, this looks good. Let's save that up. Now attach scripts to most of these guys. So I'll just come here, click on script, and click open. Now settings already there. So when you click open and settings already there, it's just gonna load up the setting, and we got this wonderful setting already made up. Now, if I try to run this, as you can see, nothing appears yet, and that's because and this setting is a little bit meant for multiplayer. So if without the lobby and other script being there as the multiplayer HUD, I do not think that it's gonna operate or it's gonna show what the script intends to be, to display there. Because you need to display things like, you know, those same that we did in the offline version, like the display, type of controls that you're using and all that. But for now, it doesn't really matter. Let me try to hide this and try to run it again, run the current scene. And once it's loaded, it just stay blank. Okay, we'll come back to that issue later. I do not think it's related to the current script. It's just a logical missing part in my script. So create a script to lobby and save it. Move to the next one. We're gonna come to LAN. Arena does have a script borrowed, so I gotta remember to put it back. You see, the game, this is for the offline version when I'm playing survival, but the issue is I cannot use that same game as for the online version. Let's create a script to multiplayer. Click on create. And now real quick and coding. Virtual joystick does not need an update here. Let's remember. All right. We got now the script and everything added to the game. Now, for the online version, you get all what we kind of have in the offline HUD. The small point of difference here you can see is that the radar is not there, and we got the same button there, and you got a scoreboard there. Now, in the online version of the game, sorry, the offline version of the game, uh, nothing really needed to be changed. And for Arena is connected to something called Arena 2D. Now, if I come to LAN and LAN already also, I have implemented the script here to LAN. Now, the issue is comes with these two. They have the same name, so I tend to confuse what script to attribute to each one of them. So I've just created a LAN Arena. So the LAN Arena script is different from the Arena script. Just remember that. Then I'll make sure that you get the script directly to the LAN Arena from the LAN game. So the lobby also was made up. If I run the lobby, let's see how the lobby comes out. As you can see, there is this section which is pretty good. When you log in or join a player, you can just click there and the game will launch like that. Wonderful. Now let's scroll all the way down here, and we can go also all the way up here. You can see how it looks like. Let's run the settings again. Now everything logical was implemented. You can see that my settings is not working. I can get in and get out. I can come to LAN multiplier, and if I click on host, I can even change the name of the host, which mostly games. I can change the number of players to 2. And if I put 4, I can even put 4 players, but the maximum limit is 15. So if you put something way beyond 15, it ain't gonna work. So this is how it comes out. So the multiplayer lobby, when the host the game, there is the limit amount of time, the kill limit, enable team, enable friendly fire, and you can pick only between two arenas, open field and the corners. Then now I can click on unready, and let me close this up. I said close it up. Why not zoom it up to the maximum? All right. I'm struggling with confusion maybe. Back to multiplayer and lobby. If I run lobby here, let's see how lobby comes out a little bit here. Right. Lobby seems to be working properly. And what I like is the fact that I haven't got any error yet. I said yet because somehow, even if you do everything perfectly, uh, there is always a margin of error. We are human, so I often tend to make errors when it comes to all of this. Now, for me to kind of mimic that idea of having two phones connected, I can come to debug and on enable multiple instances. Then I'm gonna select 2 because of my CPU. My CPU is not strong enough to handle more than that. Otherwise, my game's just gonna crash or something. Now you can see I'm running 2 instances. I was trying to put the split screen as often we can do on Windows, but somehow it doesn't work. I don't know if it's due to my settings set by Godot. And here we go again, invalid. Oh my God, I'm still struggling again with the same errors that I used to have. Uh, it's coming from enemy, by the way. That thing of the name does not match the name in the script, so that gotta be fixed. So that's another poking part which should be a pain in the ass to actually fix. I will need to change everything that I've made so far here in every script from player to bullet to enemy and all that thing. That's a lot of work again to work on. So let me just skip ahead and we'll catch up once I've corrected all these things. Now let's run again. I've made so many corrections that it's kind of painting about it. What if let's first remove these things of stretching to the max. Maybe I can find a way now to, you know, operate two of them on the same screen as by split screen. Now you see it shows, but still doesn't really work. No way to resize the screen, no, neither. So what I can, the best I can do right now is just play them like this, a little bit, overlapping. So first one, the host would be named Kim's player, and let's just increase this to 600 second, which almost equivalent to how many minutes? Is it five? No, I don't think so. Maybe 12 minutes. Yes, 12 minutes. And second player would be player two, aka random phone, whatever. You just name it. First, you have to click on the link which appears below that, and now you can connect. If you click on ready, it will show to the host that you are ready, and the host can start the game. If I press on start the game, and boom. Um, on the top of object node, match manager. Okay, okay. Sync kill feed. We are trying to access kill feed, but what exactly are we looking for in kill feed? We are looking for in match manager. We're looking for kill feed, but we can seems to find it. So yeah, you can see how pointed it is. Yeah, yeah. Match manager, match manager, match manager, match manager. Where is my match manager though? Let's just go click on it and we can find where the match manager is being called from. I figure that match manager actually might be an autoload maybe. Nope. There is nothing called match manager in my autoload, meaning we're not trying to access it that way. So the match manager must be a script, a random exact, and it's empty. I'm ashamed. So I actually forgot to code this section. Let me just do it quickly. And here we are. Now the kill feed we've been looking for is the first signal that actually needed, um, you know, to display how many kills each player has. I can clear all this so that I can have you know, I can have fresh warnings and errors coming. So they don't just, add up. Right, they open clear, they're open perfectly. I'm just gonna put them a little bit apart like this. Um, Now if I come on LAN, click on host, and this one will be named as Kim's admin. I'm the admin. Click on start host. I can change the timing to okay, 700. There is no something like 700. You can also increase it manually there, but there is a limit, of course. I might actually have to change it to put it in minute because in second it's kind of wild. Let's join here and click on that before we join the selected game. Click on ready. Now from the host side, I can come and click start the match. And perfect. Now here my admin. I can come here and pick up the weapon. I just picked up the weapon, didn't I? I don't know if I picked up the weapon or a scope. Since I do not have a radar here, it will be very tricky. You cannot hear the sound, but that music ambience in the background doing tun, 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 tun. It's really interesting, I'm gonna lie to you. So let's pick up a rifle, but still doesn't work. So there is definitely something, yeah, you can see there is definitely something going really, really wrong with my current you know player's logic. But this is shooting, so let's see if I can find the other player and try to shoot him even more. If he dies, or at least if the player has appeared. So it has appeared. You can see they're looking on each other from this side. If I come and attack, yep, he actually killed him. But something is wrong with the frames. So there is definitely something wrong with the frames. And yeah, I was right. The same error that we got in my offline version is coming back here. So the path in item data in item DB isn't correct at all. So let's go first to it here. But at item DB, and I need to change these files one by one again. So let me do this real quick and we'll catch up and test the game after that. I've done all the adjustment that was required. Uh, Now let's run the game and see. I wish there was an easier way to split this two, but it's way irritating. The fact that I have to move them every time side to side, so I can actually. I started the game by mistake. As you can see, my offline version is working as well, and yeah, seems to be all right. I don't know why did you see how my light is kind of square? It's supposed to be a little bit radial, but I might have made a mistake. I pick up the gun. If I shoot, okay, it's a shotgun, which kills a little bit faster than the normal guns, I guess. Seems like a fun game. But you see the fact that they're both open. One's still on the main menu, and the other one is I'm actually playing offline. Shows that the game can be played offline. It's just I remove those training things. I'll add them back later, and I will even try to add even more mods so that it might be even more and interesting in a final project. So that's when you pay, let's say $5 or $10. It's actually worth it. You have like many variations. You have the basic tutorial project, you have the advanced one, and you get the premium version for a higher price or a different price. I will try my best, guys. As you can see here now, I'm on online version. Both are connected. Let me pick up the weapon. If I pick up this, and that now the character is here. I could see his light from afar. Actually, is it working properly? I'm shooting, but it's kind of like I don't see the blood effect. And on this side, am I able to attack him? You see, I'm pressing attack, but the animation only shows this side. Sadly, let's show again this and that. So, what actually is happening here? I don't know if you can see down here. There's so many errors happening in the script, and all that just need to be corrected. We need to click on every error and see what it says, and go check the path file or the name of the node, which basically would be abstracting the good way of the game to work. And there is not really nothing left to do or left to create, and the only thing that remains from my side would be to create for you guys a fusion between these two versions, a good fusion version actually between these two versions, and add more arenas. Those arenas that we add in offline version, I would like to add the selectivity of an arena on the online version. Then I'll create a PPT or a PDF out of it. So you may also try to replicate it at home. And if I can't, just understand that I add a busy week. There are so many errors that still remains which need correction at this point. Let's just hope for the best. And I guess this is it. Now, after completing both your projects, I open back my offline version and I will be exporting to Android first. So to export to Android here, they will tell you to go to show project settings. You have to import this. You have first to start save and restart, which I won't be doing here, but I'll recommend you to actually save and restart before you start exporting here, just for sake of showing you what you need to do. I won't really do that. And Now, come to architecture, I might have actually to actually select all of these because I once kept it as default, but the game couldn't open on other versions of Android after I distributed the beta version of the game. They couldn't open and install on other versions. So I recommend you to select all those four options in the architecture. Now, in terms of icon, I'm gonna pick icon 2. And in terms of permission, since we are on offline version, we do not need any network permission. The only things we actually require is the vibration to request the vibration and they vibrate so that the phone may vibrate when you touch an explosive or it gets shot. Now, if you go back, remember the folder we made before, we're just gonna save our game inside there. We already have the folder here. We can create a new folder again, and I'm gonna name that a survival tactics, and click on OK. Now we can save that up. Now it's exporting. It might actually quite take some time, but it's quick. I can assure you, it takes much time on the zero than it actually takes when it starts moving. Right. I was a little bit wrong then. Yeah, as I said, takes much time on the zero than it does actually in the progress. So from 1 to 99, and that's it. Exported perfectly. Now we can export it to Windows. Let's go for Windows first because Windows also does not require too many patterns here. We're gonna come to export path, and you gotta select an export path for it. Let's go back again. Is it here? Now I've created a folder for Windows. Okay, now we gotta save it in Windows. So here we're gonna come. If I click save, they'll say invalid extension or empty name. So I need to name the game. So again, with the same old process and boring, I have to name it Survivor Tactics. Now, if I try to save it, they will say the extension is wrong. So without that .x, it won't work or it will refuse to save and export. Here, the only thing I can actually add is an icon. Well, we'll pick again the same type of icon. Let's just open icon 2. And same for the console wrapper is going to be icon 2. Now, after that done, there is nothing that export permission that needed. Click on export. I'm inside the Windows folder. I can click on save. It's exporting, just don't touch anything yet. And that's done. For the Windows export, it was actually quick. Now, for HTML, this one, you might need to export it to something like your itch.io account so that the game can play in the browser. That's easy also to implement once you have watched few YouTube tutorial. First of all, we need to add icons. I'll be adding my same old type of icons. Icon 2, simple. The size, you actually, kind of doing this on, I don't know if it's on purpose or stupidly, but you could have just create different size of icon because it says 144 here, but with the resolution that I'm using right now, anyways, actually is going to compress it, so that's why I don't mind. Now, after adding all of this, I need to set the path, and the path will be HTML here. Now we gotta get rid of this old name. So now this index things, it's actually required by HU. You cannot name your name here. So what you need to do is always name your export as index.html. You do not have any choice but name it like that. I've tried to name it differently and I couldn't run my game in the browser because of that stupidity. So always name it index.html. Once exported, we can now close this. Let's close at this. Then I'll open in the background the other version of my game, which will be the online version. After all of this, I'll open the online version. Then we'll do again the same process of export. You see how smooth the offline version is? There is no errors at all. Now I've opened my online version. For my online version, we go again on the same principle. We'll just be exporting like we did before. So we're gonna start with Android as always. They're gonna ask me again to do this process, which I will completely kind of ignore, but I wouldn't recommend that. You can click save and restart, which actually needed. for Godot to load those settings and come to export here, add web, and add Windows. Now I won't show in details how to do this. I've already showed you to the other on the other side. Only things you need is now when you're exporting to Android, there are a few things that you actually need, which are the permissions. Here, the permissions are way more complicated than when you're exporting an offline version. So you need to go and enable access network states, access Wi-Fi states. What else? Let's scroll down here. There is something that we need actually, which is even more important than accessing the net. Okay, so we gotta go with change in network states, change in Wi-Fi multicast states, and change in Wi-Fi states. So all those three enabled. I will write them down in my PDF so that you know how to export them easily. Let's come to internet and enable also internet. And lastly is the vibration. So let's scroll down, vibrate. Where is the V? Can't believe I forgot the alphabet. I'm looking for V among S. So okay, right before W. So just vibrate. And now I can disable this full screen. What else needed? I can just come here, copy path, and I'll be saving it inside export in APK and inside the same folder. But what we do here, you just change the name. We just survivor tactics. I need it to be capital name. So what you do after exporting is take the APK file and share it with your friends, or you can distribute it on the Play Store or maybe Steam if you have a Steam account, GitHub, or whatever you want. Um, no matter what channel you decide to actually distribute your game, it will be easier for you. Um, for me, I think I'm pretty done with that architecture, which, yeah, architecture also, I told you to always select all of these four. Once all these have been done, the only thing remaining is adding the icons. And for the all name version, I have different icon. And now I can click on export and save. Now it will be exporting, which makes it easier, but takes a lot of time to export the full game. And that's it. We are really reaching this video end. I really hope for your support and most of you to give me a review of the game after you've tried it on my itch.io account. I don't know how do you say it, itch.io, depending on how you say it. So those two, you already know how to export them, so you do not need really my help here. And that's it. We have exported the game. So guys, this is the end of my video. I really hope you enjoyed this funny tutorial, which was shorter than expected, and which makes it even easier for me. Give me a review in the comment section to let me know that you have reached the end of the tutorial. Then I will be very pleased to hear from you. So see you for the next tutorial.